All right. Uh, YouTube, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A few things going on at the job, so I'm able to take the morning off at least and talk about some things that have really got me going. You can see them there uh, in the title Tim Pool, BK Mess, which is Brett Kavanaugh, and what was the other one? Civil War. That's right, Civil War. So let me start with Tim Pool. Um, and again, I just need to get this stuff off my chest before I go on about my day. Uh, I probably agree with the majority of the things Tim Pool says. I probably used to put it at like 90%. It's not 90%. I don't know, maybe it's 60%, to be honest. But I realized something in listening to Tim Pool this morning. I mean, he is on and on constantly about this, that, and the third. Again, I agree with maybe the majority of it, more than half. But what I did realize today is that Tim Pool is leading the charge for civil war. Now, I'm sure Tim Pool would say, hey, I don't want civil war. Civil war's bad. This man has quite the reach now. I mean, it has been something to watch him grow this empire over the last, I've been listening to Tim Pool for at least 2 years, or probably close to 2 years. It's been really interesting watching him build this empire. And I wish there were more people out there that were doing it. Uh, independent news media, if you will. But it has come to my attention this morning because it's the same old dribble about civil war and everything else. Let me explain my perspective here. I believe most people are not on the far left. They're not on the far right. They're right in the middle. Most of us are average people, man. And we want the same things. We want to be happy, healthy, and we just want to live. And that's it. So I'm beginning to believe Tim Pool. Somebody get me on Tim Pool, man. Anybody out there know Tim Pool? Hit this dude up. Tell him HTJ. HTJ wants to come into your studio and tell you what's up, homie. Give you a little help. Anyway. So I'm now beginning to see Tim Pool as a divider. It's the same reason I stopped listening to Ben Shapiro, y'all. I haven't listened to Ben Shapiro in easily a year, probably more like 2, because he's a divider. That's all he's concerned about. So I'm starting to see Tim Pool as a divider, and he is relishing in that. His empire is growing and growing. Good on him. I'm not here to hate about that. I'm actually in Tim's corner, but I wish somebody would just tell him he's now beginning to be part of the problem. You are now separating two sides. He's always putting people in boxes, man. Well, either you're a leftist or you're a far right or you're a Democrat. Republican. He's always putting people in boxes. The terminology goes on and on and on. I like Tim Pool, but I'd really like to have a conversation with that dude and ask him, like, what's up with that? Now, let's shift away from Tim Pool because we're going to get back to some Tim Pool stuff here in a minute when I go into Civil War. What I want to talk about right now is Brett Kavanaugh. So I'm sure maybe some of you have heard or had not heard that a 26-year-old man was arrested outside of Brett Kavanaugh's, in his neighborhood, and admitted to the police, the Capitol Police, hey, yeah, I want to kill this guy because, the leaks and stuff. 26-year-old man from California got some pepper spray, a gun, 2 clips, got some zip ties, a knife, whatever else. And as soon, he freaks out because he sees Capitol Police. These are the reports I'm seeing. He freaks out because he sees Capitol Police, I guess, go ahead and do their thing and arrest him. And then he just admits, oh, I'm here to do this. Y'all, do you remember what happened to the governor up there in Michigan? Do you remember that kidnapping plot? Turns out that was all BS. Turns out that's the FBI putting that on. And I know we all know what just happened in Texas. Okay? In Uvalde. At that school. And I see the same questions everywhere. How does this kid get so much money? How did he get proficient with a firearm? I mean, maybe was, maybe wasn't, but he did shoot 2 officers, I think, in the street, right? And presumably, has this guy ever spent any time at a range or even firing the gun he had? No, I don't think so. Most 18-year-olds can't even find their dick, much less fire a gun accurately in the heat of all that BS going on. I'm now starting to believe that the federal government of the United States is just putting on all this BS to keep us, you and me, regular people, at each other's throats. And it is so obvious now. I'm not so sure that this kid in Uvalde wasn't groomed, for lack of a better word, to do what he did. Just like all the men that were arrested for the plot of, and listen, you can go back through history, okay? Operation Mockingbird, all this stuff, even September 11th, which I've only began to question the last couple of years. Our American government wants us fighting. They want us to be pitted against each other. Now, let me tell you my recent experience. We recently moved from Richmond, Virginia. And as you can imagine, there's a, how do you say it, a mentality in Richmond. Well, we're not in Richmond anymore. Right now, I'm in wide open spaces, and it's beautiful. I love driving everywhere. Every day I have to go somewhere. I just love going there because it's a beautiful drive. I don't want to say God's country because I hear that's like, pristine mountain ranges and all that stuff in the Montanas and all. But for me, this is God's country out here. And I'll tell you my experience with all these people out here. None of them city folk. Just as cool as they could be, man. Respectful, very nice. I grew up outside of Richmond. I moved in Richmond, and I've lived in some really nasty places in Richmond. But for the last 10 years over there, off Georgia Avenue is a great place. By Maymont Park. If you guys know that in Richmond, it's a great area. The people in the cities, they seem to be a little bit different than the people out here in rural or country area. So I don't believe a word of this Brett Kavanaugh mess, dude. I don't. I think somebody put him up to it. I think he was dumb enough to get put up to it. That's what I think. So I don't really have a whole lot to say about this. I don't believe what's going on with that. I don't believe what happened in Uvalde. Something real wrong with that, y'all. Something is really wrong with what happened in Uvalde. And when we got cunts like Officer Tatum out here saying, no, this is the way it is. No. That ain't the way it is. Most of us, we're smart enough to understand. Especially people with children. Everyone with children knows how they felt about that. And a lot of people without children know how they felt about that. So I'm not buying it in 1 minute. This whole somebody went to kill Brett Kavanaugh thing. Nope. Government did that shit. Government had to have their hands in that Uvalde mess. Swear to, oh man, it just had to be. So let me get to my final topic here. Then I'm going to get out of here because I actually do have stuff to do today. Just work's going a bit late. I have to start later either tomorrow. But anyway, Civil War. That's all I hear Tim Pool talking is Civil War, y'all. So again, in my experience, I just don't think the majority of people out here want Civil War, think about Civil War, but it's people like Tim Pool's always on about the legacy media. But Tim Pool's doing the same thing, man. It's divide and conquer. I guess it's put everybody into groups. Let me get this right for you. Either you're left or right backwards to me, but should have been right to you. Either you're left or right. You're liberal or progressive or conservative. People are people, y'all, and the mainstream media, the legacy media, Fox News included, And now Tim Pool. And before that was Ben Shapiro. Even our guy that is uncovering all the nastiest stuff out there, what is that, Project Veritas? Even our guy there it just seems that everywhere, whether it's media, YouTube, independent personalities, whatever you're talking about, everyone's interested in divide. When most of us don't feel that way. Most of us just want to live and love, be happy, be healthy, raise our kids. If you're too young to have kids, maybe you're thinking about having kids one day. Maybe you aren't even thinking about having kids. I never thought I'd have kids. I had 2 of them. Best thing that ever happened to me. It's just really getting to me. And I've always thought that the people that are in this community are free thinkers. So my message this morning is every time I turn on YouTube or the internet, I don't have Facebook, so I'm not on there, but I imagine it's freaking terrible. It's just divide and conquer. I don't even know about the conquer, but it's divide for sure, man. At the end of it, I believe the U.S. government is responsible for all the divide. And I believe people like Ben Shapiro, Tim Pool, they fall into these traps, man. You know, Tim Pool sees all that money he's bringing in, so he just keeps talking that Civil War stuff. I don't think anybody out here is trying to have Civil War. You know, I think all this stuff is false flag BS, man. So I'm going to be real interested to find out more stuff about this Brett Kavanaugh wannabe killer who's charged with attempted murder. Be real interested to see his background. I bet you he's mentally unstable. I'll bet that. I bet that shooter in Uvalde County was mentally unstable. I bet some of the guys that got caught up in that Gretchen Whitmer kidnapping plot, bet you some of them were mentally unstable. Seems to be a pattern to me that either the government or government entities, they know where to find these mentally unstable people. And they know what screws to turn, I guess. And then we all turn on the news or YouTube and we see, oh God, the country's falling apart. People are killing each other, blah, 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 blah. No, man. Let me tell you something about living out here in the country, y'all. Ain't nobody coming up here. Ain't nobody come up here that's not welcome. And that's anywhere around in the country because there's an understanding. Like you can call the police. I can call the police all I want to from here. They're not showing up anytime soon. You best bet your bottom dollar. So everybody knows you go on a property that's not yours, you liable to be looking down the barrel of a gun. Nobody's going to ask you questions. They're just going to pull out that gun. So I think that the cities aren't safe right now, man. Honestly, and now Homeland Security, get this, Homeland Security, they're predicting more riots, a tough summer because of political and blah, blah, blah. Homeland Security. Yeah. Homeland Security, you're probably ducking up this homeland just as much as you can. I'm gonna wrap it up with this final point, man. We are not divided as the legacy media or Tim Pool would have you believe, y'all. We're not that divided. Okay? People are like, oh, these drag shows and kids. Have y'all been to a strip club? Any strip club that allows children inside? That allows kids to dress in drag and dance on a stage? Because I can tell you here in Richmond, Virginia, no one would ever do that. Here's why. Because if you get caught doing that dumb stuff, which is already against the law, it's funny lawmakers are trying to make this against the law. It's already against the law. If anyone got caught doing that, and this is not just, this is all over the country, you're losing that establishment. The owner is losing that establishment. You know how much money that's going to cost that person? So because we had one club here in Texas, I believe, do this, they shut it down, or they opened up at noon to have this. drag queen show for the kids. Well, that's like the only one I've really heard of. I don't think if you listen to Tim Pool and the mainstream media, like this is all over the country. It's just ridiculous, y'all. We have got to stop listening to warmongers, man. I don't know if Tim Pool wants civil war, but he sure talks about it a lot. So anyway, that's it, man. That's it for me. I had to get that off my chest. It's bothering me this morning. Bothering me. Tim Pool, stop putting people in boxes, dude. I like you. I want to continue to watch. I'm still subscribed. Please stop putting people in boxes and dividing the whole ducking country. You, Ben Shapiro, all you're doing is dividing the country. You're not helping anything. Somebody send Tim Pool a message and get me on this. Oh, I'd love to be. Oh, I'd love just to have about 10, 20 minutes with Tim Pool. Now, I have a feeling if you go do his show, though, you better do it his way or the highway, right? But he'll never invite me. I'll never be there. But I'm telling you, man. Divide, division. Y'all, we gotta be smarter than that. We gotta be smarter than that. I don't want kids getting killed. You know, I don't want a lot of things, man. But if we just keep bashing people over the head with how different we are, well, we're so different. We'll never get along. There'll never be a common ground. We'll look for a common ground. Maybe we can find a common ground. None of it works. So all these people out here, Shapiro, Pool, Legacy Media, all of you, sit on it and twirl, baby. You wrong. You ain't right. And you are doing nothing but damaging the morality, the security of the everyday average American. Because it doesn't matter if you watch this crap or not, you're going to hear about it. You're going to see it on your Facebook. You're going to see it in your on your local news. We got to start to be stronger in this, I think, you know? Yeah, it's crazy out here, y'all. Anyway, that's it. I'm done. I got a lot of stuff to do today. I just really had to rail about that. In conclusion, Tim Pool, you're a divider. There's honey. Tim Pool, you're a divider. I don't believe this Brett Kavanaugh mess. Not for 1 minute. And I don't think civil war is coming. No, I don't think so. So anyway, there it is. If you have any questions or comments, drop them below, man. That'd be really cool. Love to answer or whatever. We've been streaming Wednesdays at 7 p.m. That hasn't worked out for a couple of us the last couple of weeks. So I think we're going to try to move that back to 8 or 9 o'clock Eastern time. It's like, because yeah, I don't want people to have to sit around and watch my family eat dinner or something. So we're trying to move that back a little bit, try to get everything going on. Anyhow, as always, thank y'all for listening. Be good, be safe. Boom. Remember, Wednesdays, we're going to try and, yeah, we'll try to do a little later. All right, people. Peace out.